Good day, everyone. Welcome back to Let's Play Star Trek Online. My name is Mboglo, and with me once again is...
Megalomaniac. Hello, Internet.
Good day. So, last week we finished off the 2 new missions that were added as part of Season 10. So this week we're going to carry on with Season 10 content, and we're going to look at the 2 new space queues. Gateway to Gre'thor and the Herald Sphere. Both these, I've tried these ones before, and they're actually kind of interesting. Hopefully we'll not
I have not tried these before, so this will be interesting.
Yeah. I'll talk about what the missions are once we actually get into one of these queues. However, I will start, while we're waiting, with some of this week's news. So as we had theorized last week, the Mercury-class ships were indeed a preview of a new ship that Cryptic added this week. The first of the pilot class of ships, which I guess was honestly to be expected. Boy, do they look really nice, just all around.
They do.
They ended up being released as factional 3-packs, so much like the Science Destroyers, instead of like the
and the command ships.
And the command ships, instead of like the recent iconic ship T6 releases.
So I was wrong where it's not. There's no defined skin for it.
Yeah,
which I'm slightly sad about, but like functionally, it is very much like defined minus cloaking.
Yeah, the pilot gimmick is also very interesting. Is absolutely a fascinating ability. Basically, to put it simply, the pilot ship gimmick is that you now have the ability to use the ground dodge rolls in space. You double tap any direction, and your ship will either do a quick surge forward, a quick surge back, or a barrel roll to the left or right, depending on which direction you hit. During the animation, you are invincible, and you also do you also very quickly move in whatever direction. There is a few second cooldown in between uses, so you can't just constantly spam it. But it's apparently not very long, so it's apparently not a very long cooldown. So that's kind of interesting. I'm interested in seeing. I would be very interested in seeing how it plays, but I'm probably not going to buy any myself because I don't normally fly escorts.
I'll have one next week when I get paid.
Excellent. The stats on them do seem really nice, though. I mean, they are definitely like very much your typical escort, but the stats of them are actually kind of fascinating.
Yeah, I'm debating whether I want to get the tactical one or the science one. The science one would be much like the old, not old, but the multi-vector, which had the Lieutenant Commander science, so I could drop gravity well.
Oh yeah, that would be really nice. The science one would also make it a because all of them have a tactical pilot slot, but I believe for all the other ones, their second pilot slot is based on which of the versions you get, if I remember correctly. Yeah. So I believe the science one would be would be a Lieutenant Commander science pilot. Not that I don't know, maybe you don't even really need 2 pilot slots, but still. Again, though,
it's good to have the option.
Yeah, some of those pilot abilities are great. They are really, really nice. Okay, so since we just started, the first stage.
Let's say, what are we supposed to be doing?
All right, so
first off, blowing everything up.
Yeah, so first off, we need to defeat Herald ships around these stations, so that the Klingons can start using them as a forward staging area for their troop transports. Okay. And you have a really tight optional time limit for it as well. Like 3 minutes to clear the 2 of them is pretty tight, especially when you consider that right now every one of us seems to be on this side. And we still haven't completed. We still haven't destroyed all these ships. Yeah, so this one and the ground mission are both basically associated. If Cryptic were still making their queued missions like the original STFs, this absolutely would be the space version, and then the ground mission would be the part that you did after clearing here. Right. So we saved the shipyard. So now we need to fly over to the station and destroy 2 waves of ships over there.
In 5 seconds. We can totally do that.
Yep. Oh, or not. Oh well. It's just an optional. Cryptic
My ability
did...
to manipulate space-time has failed me.
No! Also, the traits on those pilot ships also look really nice. Like, I especially like the one... I believe it's the tactical version. Its trait is, as long as the enemy ship is within your forward 90-degree arc, every few seconds you will fire a micro-torpedo at it.
That was, the tactical one.
Yeah, so it's one for the Mercury, which I like how that one sounds. So the other ones are kind of interesting, but I'm gonna say like they're pretty good as well. Like I like those traits as a whole a lot more than I like the traits for the command battlecruisers. Mm-hmm. Like the command battlecruisers traits just felt like kind of flat.
I like the one I have.
Which one was that one again?
Shooting, I can look at it. The exact wording is, when activating a tactical or command bridge officer ability, minus 10% recharge on science bridge officer abilities,
yes.
and minus 5% recharge, 10% recharge on science and 5% recharge on captain abilities.
Yeah. So I mean that one...
Combine that with the fact that I have an ability that lets me reduce cooldowns as it is.
Yeah, I mean that one would... Since you like using the science attack powers much more than I do, like that is a pretty good ability for you. Like for me, I normally use like my science abilities for the the heals and that, so their cooldowns are already pretty short. But
on this one, I'm just using it for healing.
Okay, that's cool. But like for me as well, like
because I only have lieutenant science on this, but on say if I got the science pilot escort.
Yeah,
that would be more useful.
Yeah, that trait would be pretty good for you. Like for me, one of the main things is just kind of that I have so many other ship traits as it is that really fit my my playstyle. All right, so the second phase of this mission is now that we've rescued the 2 stations, they're going to start spawning troop transports from these little rings here and fly towards Kronos. We need to save the transports by closing these portals. These green ones will basically stop these ships right in front of them and cause damage over time, like a lot of damage over time. But like the fact that it stops the transports is really what kills you. These yellow portals will constantly spawn smaller Herald ships. Like they're not that big of a deal, but yeah, the green ones are what's really the killer. Like you absolutely have to take care of those, or else your transports go nowhere. Also, one thing that's
of course it shuts you down if you are hurt.
No, actually it doesn't. Okay. Unlike other missions that have a similar effect, you are not penalized for shooting at enemy ships or being shot at yourself.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it was just glitching out on me then.
There's a spawn gateway that's over here next to us, or next to where I am, which is kind of messed up, to be quite honest.
Well, I didn't have trouble closing it. It's just it started to, then it stopped, then started again, then it stopped. So.
Yeah. You might have, like, something might have happened. I don't know, but yeah, I've absolutely been shooting at stuff and being shot at, and it does not affect the ability to close the gateway, which is one thing about this mission I actually do like quite a lot.
Yeah.
Like
I think it would be very difficult if you
this mission would absolutely be incredibly
given they have to
difficult.
split up between 2.
Yes.
two halves.
Yes, this mission would absolutely be incredibly difficult if you had to stop shooting. Like, especially since like the mission structure is not anything like any of the other similar missions. Like, it's not like that one Mirror Universe event. Like, you know, with that one, you can sort of work around having your guys like spread. Like, your guys are supposed to be fairly focused. You're supposed to be having guys that will basically be tanks to hold the threat as your other guys do the work. Here, like, you can't really expect to do that, especially because you're split over two areas. You know, like, since you have the two lanes that you need to cover, like, one lane is only going to have two people. So if you need to, you see how fast these gateways will open, you need to have, like, basically the two people that are going to be on the one side need to be running constantly, doing basically nothing but closing gateways. Like, they don't really have enough time to even shoot at enemies.
Speaking of, I have to go close the gateway.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I actually like the structure of this mission quite a lot, especially now that I'm a little bit more used to the way it's built. All right, so we've gotten our minimum. You need to have a minimum of 10 transports land in the 5 minutes or so until the Herald reinforcements arrive. So now any other transports that land are just bonus points. Yeah, I do actually like this one. It's not bad, and I believe that the rewards are actually fairly reasonable as well. I'll be reminded once we finish this mission. The one bad thing, though, is that your Klingon representative is super talkative. Like, he basically does not stop talking, letting you know that the troop
shipyard troop transports are beginning to run to the planet?
I didn't know. Did you know that troop transports from the starbase are moving towards the planet?
No.
Yeah, that one is a little messed. Like,
if I could alter the voice files in the game, I'd just replace those with, "Hey, listen! Hey, listen! Hey, listen!"
That's a little rude.
Because everyone loves Navi, right? When you list off your favorite characters in the Zelda series, Navi's like top 3, isn't it?
Number 2, right after Tingle.
Yeah. Funny thing is, I know you're not actually joking about Tingle.
I don't know if I would say Tingle is my number 1 favorite, but Tingle is actually kind of neat. I actually do like him.
Playable in Hyrule Warriors.
He is indeed. Apparently, he's got a really goofy ass moveset. I should probably try him out sometime. I've actually
buy that DLC.
I've actually heard that he is a pretty good character in Hyrule Warriors. I just don't have first-hand experience.
Encountered anyone I didn't like.
I don't like most of the original character's movesets. I find her to be very awkward.
Yeah, I switched her. You get a Deku Spear with her.
Yeah, I haven't played around with the spear too much. Her book moveset is like
it's a bit awkward, yeah.
The book moveset is just way too awkward. I do not like it. I think I have just unlocked the spear the last time I played, so. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's the end of the 5-minute section. So now we just reconsolidate, and then a Herald Dreadnought will come, and we gotta blow it up.
A boss?
Yep. Boss wave.
The boss. Oh, hey, shout out to that guy's RRW Epion W.
Yeah, I saw that one.
It's like Epion Wing. We see Epion Wing 0. He's the ultimate Gundam.
RRW Crown Palace. So now we need to defeat the Herald, and the optionals defeat everyone within 3 minutes.
We can do that.
This though, folks will probably remember I talked a bit about how annoying the disabling abilities of the Heralds are. Like, these missions are where they really come into play. You got to be careful about the Herald's own fighter summons, because they will just spend their entire time afflicting you with viral matrix, and thus you will get to spend the entire time doing a whole lot of nothing.
That's annoying.
Yeah.
So, slightly relatedly, am I the only one who thinks this Herald Dreadnought looks kind of like a mobile armor by way of, like, Hideo Kojima?
I can see where you're coming from. Like,
it's like if
like
Hideo Kojima designed a New Zeal-like thing for Zone of the Enders.
When I think you mentioned it the one time we were talking, not recording, about how it kind of looks like a mobile armor, I thought of the Z Gundam. It has that kind of sharpiness to it.
Yeah. The color probably is what has to do with the color, and the fact that there's little bits that just seem to be floating off of it. That's what makes me think of the Zone of the Enders influence.
Yeah, I can see that.
It likes to teleport. That's
yeah. The Dreadnought is going down fairly fast, though. Which is...
It's because I'm ignoring everything else.
Oh. Yeah, that would help. I mean, so have I for the most part.
Dreadnought first, everything else can die later.
I mean, it's the boss.
Yeah.
I really like the abilities that cause ships to just sort of dance around in space, especially with stuff like especially with super huge ships like the Dreadnoughts, because it just looks so silly.
How much time we got left? 30 seconds. I don't think we'll get the option.
Yeah, 20 seconds we're probably not going, because I think we'd have to defeat all of the Heralds, not just the Dreadnought. And as you can probably tell, we're probably not going to defeat all the Heralds in 10 seconds, let alone the Dreadnought. Oh well, that's fine. It's
probably
just...
what if it wouldn't keep teleporting?
Yeah. I can see that. Especially since it liked to teleport well out of range. Like one of those teleports that teleported 15 clicks away, so it wasn't even like you could just sort of spin your ship around and continue shooting. You had to completely fly away.
It's almost dead now.
Yeah. I mentioned this last week, but I found it amusing that after the first mission where you basically get entirely no-souled by the Iconian Dreadnought, the two queued missions have them as boss encounters.
That is pretty amusing.
So now it's just mopping up the remaining Iconian forces. There we go.
Yay, victory is ours.
And the rewards were...
I got 79 marks total, but 50 of those are...
Yeah, 29 were... Or at least counting my bonuses, 29 were from the mission, and then 66 from the daily bonus. So, okay, we saved 24 troop transports, so it was probably 24 marks was our reward.
Because we didn't get either of the optionals.
Yeah. So that's all right. I mean, for a mission that was basically 10 minutes long.
I think with that one would have been if we had higher marked weapons just all around. I think we would have done it faster because a lot of it was just not killing stuff fast enough.
Yeah. All right, so we'll invite you back to the team.
Yay! And now the Herald Sphere.
The Herald Sphere is kind of a... I think it's kind of a funny mission, but we'll see when we get in.
Which is now.
Which is right now. Excellent. So the Herald Sphere is relatively short, but it's comprised of a lot of very short stages. So the mission will begin once we warp in here. So the mission begins with us needing to defend these 8 science ships. 8? Should be 8. That are trying to open a gateway into the Herald Sphere. We need to let at least one of them survive, however. And with the way the mission is basically structured, I don't even know if it's possible to save most of them. But I'll just say that there are 6. So they spawn and immediately go after the research vessels. Which, that's actually kind of rude, especially when you consider that these are actually it's not like they spawn frigates. They dive right in with a battleship and a bunch of cruisers. So I'm not actually entirely sure what Cryptic intended the strategy to be. There you go, we've already lost 3. So let's make sure we at least save one, because this is 2 remaining.
Come on, attack me.
There's only 1 left. This is going worse than when I first did this mission. Oh, okay, I think we may mostly have it, though, because the ones all around where the one remaining one is have been pulled away from there. So if we can just mop up the rest of these heralds, we should be okay.
Oh, they exploded me.
Whoops.
Whoops. Yo.
Alright, so we defeated all the Herald forces,
Yay, we
and
didn't
one ship managed to survive. So now we need to fly into a gateway. Any one of the 3 gateways will do. It doesn't actually really matter. So now we move into the second phase. The second phase is here we are inside the Herald Sphere itself, and there are a number of gateways all around this center area. Fly out a little bit just to show. Alright, so you see there's a whole bunch of gateways here in the middle. What's going to happen is Herald forces are now going to start flying towards the gateways from the outside, and we need to try and stop them. Yeah, and so a bunch of gateways will open up at different directions, and we need to try and prevent as many heralds from entering the gateways as we can for about 4 minutes. Oh, optional objective, less than 15 ships escape. We'll see if we get to do that. This one, even on normal, this is actually kind of a hard mission. Not because it's not because anyone hits hard, but because the mechanics are very rough. They're very brutal. This mission is a lot like Kittimer Accord, except
wider area.
Instead of it's a much larger area, but also instead of you shooting at like defenseless probes, you're shooting at like battleships. So you know it's pretty rough. And like you shooting at these ships basically does nothing to slow them down. Like you could only really slow them down if you started, like if you were using the any of the slowdown abilities. You know, like if you were using eject warp plasma or anything like that. Gravity well. Like that's literally all you could do.
And even then, a lot of these are bigger ships. So.
Yeah. Also, something like disabled my weapons for 30 seconds.
Something disabled my ability to live for several seconds.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
No.
Yep, 15 ships escaped. We've destroyed 4 and 17 have escaped.
Yeah, this is not going too well.
Like mechanically, I actually kind of like this mission a lot because I think its structure is very fascinating. But like, wow, the mission itself is incredibly difficult. I wish that they had something like just that these ships had threat, you know. Like,
yeah,
if they stopped flying because they were shooting at you, like that would be fine. Because with the number of ships that spawn in each group, like
or they were just generally weaker.
Yeah, or if they were just generally weaker. Like if the Herald fleets were just their escorts, that would be one thing. But the fact that it's constantly like, you know, these 2 battleships, 2 cruisers, and an escort group, like that's a bit much, guys. Even if we were to fly around as a group and just engage them in the 5-man team, like that's probably still not something we could easily clear out. In any case, though, like again, I think that in general the structure is pretty fascinating. It's just like the individual designs are a little rough and could use some could have used a little bit more iteration. Alright, so in 5 seconds here, this phase will end. Okay. Alright, now we need to fly back out through this open gateway to engage with at least some of the ships that have managed to escape. Actually, I don't know if it will fly all of them out. We'll find out, I guess, because it would be kind of rough if we had to like fight all 35 something ships that escaped.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. So now we have about 4 minutes to defeat the Herald forces that are out here.
I think it would be interesting if the amount you faced actually was
based on how many escaped. Yeah, I think actually that may have been like the original design, and they may have had to change that a bit because they did have an issue where... So the first time I did this mission, which was not that long after Season 10 released, but there was a bug, so to speak, where basically after we finished killing all the Herald ships, we had to sit and wait for the timer to tick down. And I think apparently that there were supposed to be reinforcements, but they never spawned. So it's quite possible that like the 4 minutes is there, like it's constant, but that 4 minutes is there based on like you then have that 4 minutes to destroy as many Herald ships. And for us, like, we destroyed the first wave, and then that was it. So we may actually have up to like 35 ships here available for us, and then once we defeat all 35, then we get to sit on our hands for the rest. Somehow I don't think that's actually the case. I think that even if we were to like zero out, we would probably have these constant waves out here.
Yeah.
But then again, like if the number of ships that are out here are based on the number of ships you allow to escape, that actually makes the design of the ships on the inside, I would say, like, make a little bit more sense, to be quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that was... But considering how many are showing up in each one of these waves, that's clearly not what's happening. Like, this is very much definitely them just constantly spawning Herald ships for a 4-minute killathon.
Yeah. That's okay.
Yeah, I am honestly kind of fine with that. Yeah.
So after this, we find our dreadnought.
Yes. How did you know?
Because, these things usually have bosses.
Yeah, I believe. So once we end this phase, we then, well, we still got another minute, so we'll worry about that in a moment. But yeah, once there will be one more phase after this, because this is not the boss wave. Now that we're like fighting them more face to face, this is actually going a lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we're all together, it's fine. It's just trying to stop them going through the gateways spread out like that. It's annoying.
Yeah. Like I said, though, I do believe it's a very interesting design. But I do wish that I either wish that it was better presented, like how it actually affects you. Okay. All right. So now we need to go back into the gateway. Now that the time has run out. So it wasn't like defeat them all in time. It was just defeat them all, and here is your time. So now we'll fly back into the gateway, and yep, there's a dreadnought. All right.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, optional objective completed in 3 minutes. So the dreadnought's gimmick here, though, is that the dreadnought is being powered by these gateways. So we need to close the gateways in order to weaken it, in order to do better damage to it. Unlike Gateway to Gre'thor, however, being shot at will reset the counter for these gateways. You do not need to close all the gateways in order to weaken the dreadnought, but the more gateways you close, the weaker it gets. And wow.
Did they reopen at all?
I don't remember if they reopened, actually. I will... Because, like, when I actually did this my first time, we actually managed to defeat the dreadnought before we were able to close all the gateways. So, I'm not actually sure. It looks as... Well, we got 5 still open. I have already closed 1. We'll have to look and see if someone mentions another one opening. Oh, well, the dreadnought is almost dead anyway, so...
Oh, well, fine. There was trying to close more gateways.
Alright, base marks 10. Alright, so we only got 18 marks from that mission.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the rewards maybe not that great, but I don't know. I actually still kind of thought that the mission was fun. To be quite honest.
It's fun. It's just the beginning part and the gateway part, the second part.
Yeah,
a little too rough.
Yeah, the transitions could have been better. Some of the balanced parts of it, I think, could have been a lot better. I did kind of enjoy it still, though. Like the structure is very interesting. I definitely think Gateway to Gre'thor is the better of the two new space missions. But Herald Sphere is at least one that I am not unhappy with doing. Like, because it's basically flying around doing a lot more killing. It's also a pretty good XP grinding one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the two new space missions. We'll probably save the ground one for when we start doing all the ground missions. Unless you wanted to try queuing for it now.
Nah.
Yeah.
There's squidding to be done.
Yes. So yeah, so
the Splatoon beta test is tonight, so we're gonna go do that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be it for us for this week. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and we hope to see you all next time.
Bye, everybody.